Hello there everyone and welcome to John Drinks, the channel where I, John, have a drink. Today, we're going to be looking at a sample of Bruichladdich. I'm a little bit surprised I haven't gotten around to this one, to be fair. It's kind of an ubiquitous bottle. I just said ubiquitous really strangely there, I don't know if you noticed. They are the turquoisey aqua bottles that everyone knows, basically. Bruichladdich as a distillery, bloody hell, where to start with them? They had a tumultuous past, lots of kind of big names, Diageo being one of them. Actually, did Diageo have it? No, I'm lying there. Who had it? Here we go. Associated Scottish Distillers until 52, Ross Coulter, R&C, DCL, AB Grant, and White Mackay have had a stab at them as well, and they're currently in the hands of Remy Cointreau, so kind of all over the place. But it's only during their time being owned by relatively independent concerns have they been well known. Remy have had them for about 10 years now, and they continue just to market the liquid really heavily. They still produce really good liquid as well. Bruichladdich for me is one of those ones where it is marketing first, liquid second. Luckily, in the case of Bruichladdich, the liquid is a close second as opposed to some other ones like, let's say Dalmore, for example, where it's marketing and then the liquid's like, you know, down the fucking road. You need binoculars to see it. I'm not apologising for that. So this is the classic Laddie. It's their core expression, 50% I believe, yes! Natural colour, non-chill filtered, all the fun stuff. We're going to get it into a glass. Time was, they used to bottle a 10-year-old, you know, as is the style, and then they stopped because they realised they could churn out the no age statement and nobody would really notice. The classic Laddie is a bit of a weird one in that, like, it doesn't feel like a no age statement, you know what I mean? You know, like when other distilleries put out a no age statement and it's like immediately obvious, like the Founders Reserve or the Glencadam, I think that's one of them. Vinaya from Bladnock. You know, you spot straight away, like, something a little bit amiss here. There's like, something missing. It's the age. With the classic Laddie, it feels, I don't know, more right. You know, it feels more certain of itself. I don't know if it's just because it's blue. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking rubbish and everyone else is like, no, we have the same thing with Bruichladdich as anything else. But that doesn't matter. It's the blue bottle and it's, you know, pretty readily accessible. You can get it in like little 20 CLs in the Scotch Whisky experience for massive markup because, you know, tourists. So there it is in a glass. There's nothing too exciting about that. We've seen whiskey in a glass before now. That's not too interesting. It's a straw gold colour. It's pretty. Oh, it's like sweet corn and white wine on the nose. It's a little acidic. Hay, grass, apples, a little cardamom-y. There's an element of spice in there. It really does have like a general, what, you know, like if you go to a pub and they've got, like, you know, the cheap shitty house wine that will keep the Karens happy for 5 minutes. It's got that generic white wine smell. The more I'm nosing it, there's a little bit of like a white chocolate sweetness to it. It's subtle. It's almost kind of like classic space cider on the nose, you know. Clean, grassy, light, delicate, appley. No doubt that will open up as we, you know, stick water in it, which we're going to have to do because it's a strong one, this one. But yeah, let's have a sip and find out what we're dealing with. Whew. Okay, it's like if you covered, I mean covered, Caramac in white pepper. There's a sweet white chocolate element, it's a little bit caramelly, and it's very spicy. she's hot, and she's just got that kind of aggressive pepperiness that white pepper does, that black pepper and pink pepper don't so much. That's just kind of like the wham in your face, thank you ma'am kind of thing. On the second sip, it's a little fruitier. I'm getting like a light hint of conference pear, which is already a very delicate fruit to begin with, you know, so that's the kind of level we're talking about when we say fruit. It's like, it's just about there. The spice is dominating this one. And that kind of like caramelly sweetness. Again, it's Caramac, it's not like chewing on words like a caramel or something like that. It's much more, it's there, but it's more background. Really pleasant aftertaste though. Is it more kind of like a lingering white chocolate sweetness to it? I'm saying white chocolate a lot. It's not something that I often gravitate towards when I'm talking about whiskey, but it's there. I call it as I see it, and it's there. But let's stick some water in it, see what we are dealing with here. Oh. Cool. Swilly, swilly, swilly. Hasn't changed colour because it's not a butterfly pea gin. Those white wine qualities have dissipated a little bit, and in its place, more white chocolate and a little bit of white grape as well. So sort of wine adjacent, I suppose, but still a little bit of that fresh cardamom. There's a little bit of like a slightly coriander as well, like that slightly kind of vegetal soapy edge. I quite like coriander, so it's not a bad thing, but I know there are some people out there that aren't fans of coriander. Or cilantro if you're from America, beg your pardon. Do they still make absolute cilantro? I've been meaning to get my hands on that wacky stuff. Coriander vodka, who came up with that? That's nuts, and I want it. Okay, it's not giving me too much else, so we'll dive in with another sip. Much gentler. The heat is much more kind of subdued. I'm getting a little more of a tropical kind of a thing, so now it's got a faint kind of caramel sweetness, and there's a little bit of like a mango kind of a presence in there as well. It's gone a little tropical. Not overwhelmingly so. It's not, you know, we're not talking like an Altmore or anything like that, but it is, it's there. It's much mellower, much more gentle. The water's just kind of like calmed it down more than anything else. It's hitting most of the same notes. It's still quite spicy, still a little bit sweet. There's that little bit of a tropical fruit edge to it, but it has just kind of tamed the beast more than anything else. It's not really adding or producing anything new or interesting to it. It's a little flat, I've got to say, as like a flavour experience, it is a little bit flat. It's a bit simple, a bit basic. It's good, and it's obviously a fun one to play with if you go, here's an Islay that's not peated. Is Bunnahabhain a better shout? No comment. I mean, it's clearly not undrinkable. Final thoughts. It's perfectly pleasant. It's perfectly good, perfectly kind of easygoing once you've added some water, but before you do, it's a bit of a wallop, that one. 50% can be a little bit of a tricky one to get people ingratiated, for want of a better way of putting it. It is really nice to see kind of like an entry level at that percentage though, you know, so you can kind of play around with it yourself. So it's nice to see that Remy Martin aren't screwing up too badly. Obviously it's the marketing that carries it. Bruichladdich has a dedicated following now, as do most distilleries, to be fair. You don't get many distilleries out there that don't have some kind of a following. You know, most people, it's like football supporters, I suppose, except we don't beat each other up. Learn from us. Football fans, learn from us. But yeah, that was the classic Laddie. Let me know down below your thoughts on Bruichladdich as a distillery. Are there any expressions of theirs that you're particular fans of? Are there any that you won't go near? What do you think about kind of like their approach to how they market whiskey? Do you think it's a bit too much? Do you think they're playing into the hipsters a little bit too much? Do you like what they do? Let me know. Thumb this video if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed what I did here. If you want to check out more of the back catalogue before you make your mind up, please feel free. It's all there. For now though, thank you very much for watching, and do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.